the Photo Diaries podcast. I'm your host, Grace Costa, a commercial photographer of over 2 decades, a photo-based artist, and a photography mentor. This podcast opens up a secret diary about the world of the photography industry. We'll bring you inspiring interviews with industry professionals, as well as stories and tips to help you propel through your photography journey, whether you're just starting out or a seasoned pro. Thanks for joining me today. Now let's open the latest diary. Hi friends, how's it going? Thanks for being on the podcast today. I've got a short time before I've got a haircut appointment, so let's see if I can fit in a podcast episode for you. Today I want to talk about Google reviews, and people have asked me how I go about doing it, so let's make a podcast specifically about that. So first of all, to have Google review link, you first need the Google listing profile. Now you can just get one easily for free, search how to do Google business listing. And even if you don't have a physical location like a shop front or a physical studio, you can still have a business listing. So go ahead and do that, and your Google review link lives in there. There's a blue button and it says get more reviews, and it brings up your link, and you can copy and paste that into your emails or anywhere you want to put it. You can even put it in your signature block, actually. So some people do that. But some reasons why Google reviews are so important to your business. They boost trust in your business. They increase online visibility. They influence customers' behavior, actually, whether the customer feels more confident to even take the next step with you and inquire with you on your website. It helps build credibility, and importantly, all the positive reviews all add up to a higher chance of you ranking up in the scale of Google searches. So that's a really good incentive. And I know from personal experience that all my 5-star reviews have really helped grow my business exponentially, and it's helped me, have more inquiries in my inbox, more website views, and my online visibility. So go ahead and make this part of your customer workflow. Let's now talk about how to go about doing it and when to do it. So basically what you want to do is invite your customer to leave a Google review at the highest point of their excitement. And that's usually just after they've finished doing a photo shoot with you. They don't have to have seen all your images. Of course, they won't have done that unless you're tethering and you're showing them along the way. But even just a Google review about the positive experience you've just had is a great way to do it. And that would mean sending an email that afternoon after the shoot or the next day. So let's say within 24 hours. You want to make it super simple for them to leave a review. And the way to do that is to copy that link from your Google business listing, make a simple sentence in the email saying, if you feel inclined, if your experience was so great with me, which I feel like it was, I encourage you to leave a Google review using this link. It simply takes 30 seconds of your time. You can write it like that. You can also talk about, some ways to prompt them of what to say. So in this example where you're sharing the link before they have received their final images, you want to prompt them about the positive experience you two have just had together. Whether it's a wedding, a branding shoot, a headshot session, whatever it is, you want to sort of link back to how great the session was, why it was great, how you both felt, and then say, I encourage you, or if you would like to leave a 5-star Google review about your positive experience working with me. You can talk about how easy it was in front of the camera when you were super nervous at first. You can sort of guide them in those ways, and then just say again, it simply takes 30 seconds with this link. Letting them know that it's going to take only 30 seconds incentivizes them to just do it, because they're like, yeah, sure, I've got 30 seconds. But if you didn't put that, then they're like, Google review, that's going to take a long time. Do I really have the time? I'll just save this email for later. No, you want to tell them right there and then it's going to take 30 seconds. So, you also want to acknowledge why it's important for them to leave a review. And in this case, you could say something like, well, for me, I say, because I work with businesses, I put it back on their experience and say, leaving a Google review helps other businesses like yours know that they can trust my service. Another option is to say, leaving a Google review helps my business grow and become more visible online. There's two options there. I want you to decide for yourself which one sounds more positive and more like they're going to take action on. For me, the one that talks to other businesses, community, the wider collective of people, helping them is more to me more of an incentive than to help my business. They may not necessarily really care about helping my business because, why should they care about that? But when it's helping the broader community, then it possibly puts them in that situation of what it was like for them to look for a photographer, the reviews they had to read to pick the right one, and then they can relate and they go, well, yeah, the Google reviews that I read were really helpful, therefore I'll now help other people. So that's the first way of doing it. The second way is requesting it after you have delivered the proof gallery or the entire gallery. So with the proof gallery or the entire gallery, you can then that they've got proof that they've seen the images and they know that what they're looking at is great. So you can then say similar words. If you are happy with the result or if you felt like you've had a good experience with me, I encourage you to leave a positive review using this link. It only takes 30 seconds. So, you decide what works for you there. But when it comes to doing the first one, where you're requesting it straight away after the shoot, you could attach one image, one retouched image to that email so that they feel confident that the results are going to be great and there's already proof there. So then they're going to feel more inclined to leave a review because you've given them something and then they feel like, oh, well, she gave me something, therefore I'll leave a review. Now, when people do leave a review, Google will send you an email notifying you that somebody has left a review. You can click on that or you can go into Google Business Listing and see the reviews there. It will allow you to respond to them. And I encourage you to respond to every single review, whether it's good or bad, because, this also shows Google that you're trustworthy. And when other people are reading the reviews, they're seeing your responses, they're getting a glimpse of your personality and what it's like to work with you. So, make sure you do that. Now, should you reward people for leaving a Google review? Well, that's up to you. It's up to your business model. You could send a thank you card in the mail, but I simply think thanking them live on the Google by replying to them is a great way to thank them. Or you could send them a personalized message after doing that as well and say, I just read your review. I'm really grateful that you did that. I knew it took some time and energy, and it just means a lot to me that you took the time and you left a 5-star review. So thank you so much. I can't wait to work with you again. Something like that. I think that's really good relationship building, and it's important for you to thank people. Will everyone leave a review? No, not everyone does. Even though your experience was a 10 out of 10 experience, still not everyone will leave a review. Don't forget, they're bombarded, especially business people or people who've just had a wedding or whatever it is that you shoot. They've got so many emails in their inbox every single day. They may have intentions to leave a review, so maybe they'll keep your email in there unread, but then it gets bombarded with all these new emails. They'll forget about it. It gets moved down the list of things to do, and they never get around to it. They may have meant well, but then they don't do it. Should you follow up? You can if you want to. That's, again, up to you. You shouldn't force people to do it if they don't have time. Some people may not like to do it. In a case where I photographed a doctor, she was reluctant to leave a Google review, even though she was a friend of mine. She really wanted to do it. She just didn't want to have her name online for some reason. It was something about the fact that she was a doctor and had a public profile. So she just wanted to be careful where her name was listed. So I think she ended up using a different account and using her maiden name, so then she was able to leave a review. But, not everyone wants to do it, and they all have their reasons. Think about this. Do you leave Google reviews for other people? I think if you expect people to leave a review for you, you should do the same for them. Whether it's the local cafe or a restaurant or another service provider, just get into the habit of doing it, because what goes around comes around. And, if you're going to put out that good energy, it's going to come back to you. I actually wrote a Google review, I think it was 2 years ago. This particular one got 500 views, and Google sent an email to me saying your review is helping many people. It's been viewed 500 times, and I got this little trophy. And then 2 years later, they ended up being my client for Headshots, which was only this year actually. And that came through a referral. Like, they didn't know that I was a customer at all, the person who inquired with me. And I was like, oh, I left you guys this really awesome review and it got 500 views. And so of course they left me a wonderful positive Google review as well this time round. So, I know I'm always leaving Google reviews, and you can add photos as well. Some of my clients add photos with their review, and I think that adds to the credibility and the trust factor online with Google. So if you want your clients to add photos, what you could do in your email request is to just chuck in a couple of low-res photos that they've already purchased or that was part of their package, and just make it easy for them to upload it. And if you want to encourage them to say you can use these photos to upload as well, I don't do that, but you can do that, and that means more photos are going to be online of your stuff. So that's good. So my friends, look, that is the basic rundown of why and how easy it is to get Google reviews. You're just going to have to face it that not everyone's going to do it. It's a numbers game, and I think just put it out there anyway and make it part of your client workflow. For me, it's part of my workflow with every client, but I actually don't like to have it automated. I have a template that I use, but I don't let it go out automatically after a shoot, because I actually want to customize the email with every client. Yes, it says basically the same thing. It takes 30 seconds. Here's the link. I would love it if you left a review. It will help other businesses know they can trust me. That line is pretty much always the same. But the introduction to that email is different for everyone, and I want to customize that so that it's personalized, it's adding that special touch, because nobody likes automated emails and to feel like a generic number. And I encourage you to think about ways to personalize your Google review. And even if you want to pull in a funny story or a funny quote, or, I don't know, just get creative with it. And yeah, just start to add it to your client workflow as a professional practice, and you will see the results. You will see it impact your business over time. And you can trust me on that one, because I've seen it myself. So easy peasy, Google reviews, go out and do it. Thanks for listening. I encourage you, if you are not already on my mailing list, to sign up to the mailing list through the link in my bio, because I've got some great workshops and trainings coming up, including a Lightroom workflow training coming up this year. I've got a 6-week program on offer, so you need to be on the list so you can be invited to all these things. And I also share a lot of business tips and examples for you, so go on the mailing list so you don't miss out. Anyway, friends, hope you have a wonderful afternoon, and I'll catch you on the next episode. That's it for today's episode. If you found it valuable, I invite you to leave a review so more people can find this podcast, or simply subscribe to be notified when each new episode drops. Until next time, see you later.